It's a pleasure to have you here. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. I'm Shung. Uh, I am an independent security researcher. Right now, I am with KebabSec and with Spearbit. Uh, before doing security work, I was working at Pangolin Exchange. It's the first decentralized exchange, uh, Avalanche. So I did some new staking stuff there, and yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, it's cool. Avalanche is been getting all the heat the last couple of days.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, so like at the beginning I was an Avax Maxi. I got into DeFi through Avalanche. So that was my first DeFi chain, and uh, I liked it. I learned everything from there. Like whenever a new protocol comes, it was always forks, right? So it was like Wonderland money comes, it is fork of Olympus. I learned I learned about that on Avalanche. So yeah, Avalanche is a special place in my heart, but I don't like how its community is, very focused on hype and like too degen. And now that I'm a more seasoned veteran, I guess I know about the technology behind it, and I just cringe at all the hype
Yeah,
they make, and it's like hype is fine on its own, but it's irresponsible, as we have seen in the last in the last few days,
yeah.
because yeah,
Yeah, for those
you have
that
to you have to ensure.
yeah, for those who don't know, we're referencing the Stars Arena hacks that happened the last few weeks that are generating a lot of turmoil in Twitter. But it's really interesting that AVAX was your window into crypto because usually it's Ethereum, right? That's how people get into it, how they start coding. So why did Avalanche capture you at first?
Yeah, so like I initially let me tell you how I got into crypto. So I initially got as like with libertarian values. So I wanted to have be your own bank, right? That's the idea. So I got into in 2021, but I see coins pumping, right? Then the idea changes. Now I see I can make some profit. Then I started looking at altcoins. Uh, I read white papers, but what can you understand at that stage, But saw Avalanche white paper and I thought that was decent. Uh, so I just, I got into that. I started following it, and then it's like it started. They created a bridge, so the Avalanche bridge, not the one they have right now, but they had another bridge, and they had the first stacks, which started DeFi there. So that's how I started. Like I started with them, and it was actually very nice because it allowed me to learn it gradually. Because if I just jumped into Ethereum, there are many things, and I don't know. Like I could have got lost, like too many things. Uh, yeah. So in Avalanche, like uh, in 2 weeks past, a new decentralized exchange. If they have something new, I learn it. And 1 month later, we got landing. So we got like Chainlink. Then I learned about oracles, and after Chainlink, we realized, oh, we can now have landing. So I learned about landing. Uh, like I learned about as a user, not as a coder. So yeah, that's basically it. And why Avalanche? Because I got, I believed in the tech, I guess.
Yeah. And how did you get with Pangolin decks?
Yeah, so as I said, like I always had this libertarian values, right? So there were many new crypt like NFT projects, but I didn't like them because the idea was supposed to be, you have this digital card, but they should be immutable. That no one should be able to change it. So imagine someone, like, you buy a painting, hang it on your wall, and someone just barges into your home and then smears over that painting. So we wouldn't accept that, but we accept the the that on crypto, because for NFTs anyone can write the token URI. Like, not anyone, like the owner can write it and change it. So many NFT projects were like that. I didn't like how they did it. I said, okay, I will do it. I will do one myself. Uh, and I made Crypto France. I don't know if you've seen it. Basically, cute Pepes, and the standard was 10,000. So I did that. I did with my parents. They drew some, like, most of the traits, uh, and we did that, and I did it meticulously. So I wrote the website from scratch. Uh, I ensure that it's all immutable. Everything is immutable. Even the price was immutable. And I ensure that it's not snipeable. And what that means is that you cannot mint knowingly if it's going to be a rare NFT. So I did that, and I was vocal in the Avalanche community. And then after that, I did some internship at Penguin. So I was starting to get interested in the development. Of course, the NFT project is very little Solidity code, right? And I mostly copy pasted it. But it's about learning how the systems come together, right? How the front end works, how the API interacts with the blockchain, right? So you learn all of those things. And since I wrote the website from scratch, I got a very decent learning experience. And for learning, like, I will drill a bit. For learning, people ask, like, how can I get onto your level? I think the biggest thing is to uh, have some standards, right? So for me, it was making something immutable that's aligned with the philosophy of blockchain. So that's why when you code something, you rewrite stuff based on your standards, and that's a learning experience. And, like, the gas optimization is a learning experience as well. Like, maybe you might introduce more risks into the contract because you optimize it, but, like, you see another contract and now you have this writing styles, the standards you want to make sure it's gas optimized, so you go there. So that's like, having these standards, like, opinionated code writing style is very important for improving your learning. Yeah, so basically I did the NFT project, I went to Penguin internship, and then I got they invited me to join, so I joined.
Yeah, I have to say that it's so cool that you got your parents involved in crypto friends and they help you with the trades and everything. Are they some Is that something that they naturally were interested in? How did you manage to interested into like contributing that way?
Uh, yeah, I was doing some little PRs on their GitHub as well, fixing little things. Uh, but then, the main thing is, like, what jump started my knowledge is me working on an algorithm, on a staking algorithm. So I wrote Crypto France. Uh, it didn't sell much. It sold, like, you can still mint it if you want, and there is uh, permanent backing, so you can refund it. It's all fair. Uh, so I still like it. Like, you can still mint it. But I had some fans. They want new stuff, and okay, maybe we can make some staking algorithm. And you know, at that time the Olympus forks were very popular, and we got this idea. I think like we cracked the code of staking. It's like the longer you stake, the more you get. Like the idea is simple and stupid, but doing it on with smart contracts is not really straightforward because you have to do it in constant time. Like every action has to be in constant time. Otherwise, as more people are staking, the more increased the cost is going to be. So it's uh, I had to come up with this new algorithm. So and I wrote the contracts. It was the writing, like the code style was very bad. Like, it's my first contract, but it was an ambitious project. And this way, what I learned is uh, I learned the basic staking algorithm, like the synthetics algorithm. Then I came up with my own algorithm and how to implement something like that on chain. And I wrote all this new contract, uh, and then I started optimizing it, how to make it efficient on chain. So these are all learning experience that I think that's what jump started my uh, solidity knowledge. And this was like in when was it? At 2022 or at the end of 2020. So yeah, Pangolin realized my potential, and then like the guy at the top of Pangolin is Justin. He's an amazing guy. I owe him many things, and yeah, I'm very grateful for him. So yeah, he realized my potential, I guess. So I joined Pangolin today.
And how did you go from pangolin to starting your auditing career?
So we had some experiences with bugs, with exploits, and we had experiences with bad auditors. So we realized that we have to learn security. I have to learn security. We cannot just leave it to some outsider. And I think now it's really important for everyone that like any developer must be an expert in security, I believe. Uh, because the way you write the code affects everything. You cannot, like, if you write a spaghetti code and then you get audited, it's not going to work because the auditor is going to find two, three bugs or five critical vulnerabilities, whatever. Even if you send it to competition, like if you have spaghetti code, it's going to get wrecked eventually. So uh, developers must know security well. Yeah, so that was the idea. I started learning. I did some code arena competitions on the side, uh, and I we had like exploits, not big ones, but I had some taste of war rooms. The biggest one we had was the Hedera precompile exploit. There was like my sleep was ruined. I started smoking and was very very bad time. But yeah, yeah. So I had some experience with security. Like you have to have experience with security when you are a smart contract developer. But then it started to interest me more because I started getting a little bit disillusioned with DeFi, uh, and I didn't have motivation to build stuff, like build smart contracts. Uh, So yeah, I kind of lost my motivation in that ground, but I have motivation to read others.
Sorry, what led to this demotivation? What made you lose faith for the hacks that happened at Pangolin?
Uh, no, it's the like everything is infrastructure. If it's not an infrastructure, it's a meme hype coin that's trying to pump and dump. So like it's either infrastructure work or it's either you know uh, like memes. And uh, I think was being part of Avalanche affected as well, because like Avalanche community, because as I said, they're very hype oriented and uh, do not care much about security. Uh, like even when there were times when I was initially in Penguin, I was trying to like, oh, say this project has infinite minting access. Look at this. Like I was posting this, and I would just get extremely, what do you call that word? The lynched, not lynched, but
Upset.
cancelled, whatever. Like, no, I got cancelled.
Oh,
Like,
right. Yeah.
people
Just berated by
like,
everyone.
yeah, I'm a fodder because I told that they have infinite minting access, right?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so that was the state in Avalanche community. But yeah, other than that, it's like the entire crypto, like it's too much infrastructure work, and I don't want to build another DEX, I guess. There, like the DEX is what can I build? I'm thinking like I don't have the idea, the motivation. But auditing is great to get some motivation as well. You see what others are building, you can get more ideas from them, and then you will maybe you will want to build something similar or something entirely new that you uh, yeah, you figure out from the audit you made. So yeah, that's why I got into auditing. Also the freedom as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great too. And I love that you have a very gradual introduction to different concepts of DeFi, because for anyone starting, it can be really overwhelming. But if you just
Hmm.
take it bit by bit, it makes things a lot more manageable. And to you, it just happened by chance. You just gradually got to have the luxury of a slow inflow of information. But for those that are starting in Ethereum, for example, especially nowadays with so much going on, I highly
Hmm.
suggest to take it slow and just go, concept by concept.
Yeah, exactly. So like it's like every year that's passing is like building on top of the other. Like if you wanted to learn physics in, I don't know, 1700, then it's different than learning it now, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's similar.
And I think the Crypto Friends website is one of the most happy websites I've ever been
Yeah,
to. Like when you press the sound, like the soundtrack,
yeah,
it is happiness in a website. It's so cool. I love it.
yeah. That's exactly what I wanted to do, and glad that you feel that way.
Yeah, when I was looking at it, I immediately called my girlfriend and showed it to her because I just thought it was awesome. Um,
Great.
and now you mentioned you're with KebabSec. So how did that
Yes.
start?
How did that start? Oh, that's so the the one guy from Kebapsek is from Turkey as well, and there was some event. Uh, there was some event in Ankara, the capital of Turkey. So I went to that event. It was like university blockchain event, basically, and he was actually a speaker. Uh, and I realized his name. I knew him because I knew his name from Code Arena. So after his speak was over, I spoke with him immediately, and then I told my online name, and he realized me immediately too. So then, okay, that's nice. And when we were in Istanbul, I said, okay, we want to meet, and we met, spoke a little bit about crypto stuff, security stuff, and then uh, there was like eventually like there was an audit they were doing, and he invited me to be part of it. We worked on it together. It was nice one, and then yeah, he said, "Do you want to join full time?" So that's how it happened.
And for those that don't know, can you tell us what kebab is?
Yeah, so it's like I think it was started by two guys doing security work, and then it became three guys, and now with me it's four guys, and now there's another guy, it's five guys, and we try to do all the audits together, like most of us. Now that we are five people, it will not likely be all five of us in single audit, but at least I guess I hope to do three of us in a single audit. So basically, we do everything together. It's like, solo auditors tell we don't pay for marketing and blah blah blah. So this is kind of similar, but we are five people now, so we don't all of us do security work. We don't have anyone else for any other work,
That's cool.
basically.
Yeah. And do you guys work physically in the same place, or are you all
Mm,
working remotely where you guys live?
all remote.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of want to try, you know, working in the same place.
Yeah, I think there's
That might.
definitely
uh
something to it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to try and see if maybe that might be more fruitful. Uh, seeing someone else work in front of you is definitely a motivation. And then whenever you are stuck at some place, you can ask, and the other person has to answer. So it's forcing you to think. And yeah, so I think, yeah, that's something I want to try this.
Yeah, I think the ability to quickly bounce ideas back and forth, it can be really beneficial. And
Mhm.
lately, you uncovered a Uniswap bug. So can
Oh,
you
yeah.
tell us a little bit about that?
So that's, I'm going to say it was uh, uh, some percent luck. I will not say like 60% luck, 70% luck. Because that's the bug. I didn't find that bug. Actually, I wrote that bug. So let me explain. So I developed uh, a protocol called floodplain, and I worked with the flood team. So I worked with them, and I wrote most of the contract parts. And the idea they wanted to do is someone has a signature order. So they make an order. It's a off-chain signature, and then uh, anyone can fill that order, and they can do that by using the tokens that were given in the order. So in the order it said, I want to give 50 ETH, I want to get 10,000 USDC, right? And whoever is filling that order will take the 50 ETH from the order creator, and then they can use it however they want. So this is the main difference. So it allows you to use that funds in any way you want to source the funds that the order creator requested. And this is the main difference between, let's say, OpenSea. Because in OpenSea, what happens is that someone creates an order, let's say the same order. It was 50 ETH, right? So what would happen in OpenSea? You would take the 50 ETH, and then you would have to give the 10,000 USDC immediately, right? So it would have to come from you. But here, when you're like in this uh, in this protocol, floodplain, you just you take the 50 ETH, and then you can swap it anywhere you want. So it kind of works uh, as a order book. It works as a as an aggregator, swap aggregator. Uh, yeah. So, and then potentially there's like idea of doing cross-chain swaps with this as well. So this is like a versatile protocol. The only downside is that the orders are off-chain and it can be censored. That's the only potential drawback. Yeah, so I built this, and I really enjoyed it because it made really sense to me. It's a great idea. And then after I developed it, they sent it to Spearbit for auditing. So my code went to Spearbit, uh, and the only issue that was raised, like the big issue, I would say, like there were other issues, but they were just typos that lead to DOS or something like that. That would have been fixed after launch without a problem. So the biggest issue was there was uh, in the settlement, the design was flawed. It could have led to orders being filled without spending tokens. So I will explain that, but let me link it to the Uniswap. So yeah, Spearbit found this issue, and I was impressed. That's really nice, and I will tell who found it. It was Bahurum from Spearbit, and yeah. So after that, few weeks passed. It was ETC in Paris. I went there, met lots of great people. And during the ETC, Uniswap announced Uniswap X. I didn't initially look at it, but after that, I had a call with Flat team after I was back from Paris. They said, we want to integrate Uniswap X as well, and we know it's almost exactly the same thing. And I checked the protocol. Yeah, it's almost the same thing. We even use permit 2 as approvals for approvals. So yeah, it's almost exactly the same thing. And I just immediately went to check how the orders are settled, because to integrate it to our protocol, I have to know how they do that. And it's like I see it on the first glance. Like on the first glance, I check how it's filled, how the orders are settled, and like I immediately see they made the same mistake as me. So I just submit the bug. So I would say it was very lucky. It wasn't like hard work finding a very sophisticated bug or something like that. Well, it's actually a relatively simple bug, but I got lucky and found it. Yeah,
I
that's
think
basically
it's
how it happened.
I think it's very common actually for this type of bug to happen. A similar thing happened with uh, Vlad Bochok while he was implementing something for ZK Sync, and then he made a mistake, and then he realized that other people could have made the same mistake in other protocols, and I think found the same bug in Starkware or similar protocol. So, it might be a bit of luck, but you've managed to work yourself into that position. It's
Yeah.
funny that the more you work, the more lucky you get sometimes.
Yes. Actually, a funny anecdote. I was like when I was in Paris, I gave a presentation, and it was like a flash presentation. I don't know what you call that. It's like I had just one day to prepare for it. So, uh, okay, what can I tell? I can tell my mistakes. So I told this. Oh, I wrote this protocol, and it turns out this is very similar to Uniswap X, and I made that mistake. And I said I gave all the breadcrumbs in that presentation, and my bug submission was 1 week after that. So if anyone was keen on that presentation, they could have, looked at Uniswap X and saw the same issue. Like, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone in the presentation that listens to this is going to be biting their nails, thinking, oh, why did I
Yeah,
just have a look at it?
yeah,
And you have a very colorful bug report. I like how you kind of did a meme off of it.
hmm
So I think more people should have colorful and
yeah,
entertaining bug
hmm
reports. I think sometimes they're too dry. They like a bit of humor. I think more people should follow suit. stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree.
And
And
what
if
is
I,
your, please go ahead.
yeah, if I were to open like a solo audit firm, it would be like Crypto France branded, and I would write everything in the funny Pepe speak. So
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. As long as you can understand it. I
yeah.
think it's pretty entertaining. It makes it for a lighter reading for sure.
Yeah.
And how does your Odyssey methodology works?
Audit methodology is just trying to understand how the protocol works as soon as possible. So don't delay it. Like even if the protocol looks simple and you think you can understand it, like it's easy to procrastinate. So, but if you understand the protocol as soon as possible, then you will start thinking about attack vectors.
And are there any techniques you use to trying to understand how protocol work really fast?
Uh, just user uh, just check how the user interaction works, uh, and then how that changes the state. So the state is the core uh, of most smart contracts, right? So you have to understand how the state is changing, uh, and what inputs change it in what way. That's the most important.
Cool. So you're trying to mostly understand flows and, what can be done and how can that change state.
Yes, exactly.
And is that the same for you when doing private audits or doing contests? Do you just have the same approach when doing both regardless?
Yeah, it's the same approach, but I haven't done contests for I think it's been a year or maybe more. Uh, my so what I was doing with wrong with contests was that I was focusing so much on the basic stuff, informational stuff. uh, if I do it right now, I would probably not bother with that, and would just focus on finding critical stuff. And I think not looking at everything helps as well because I was, you know, reading like line by line everything, but there are parts of the code you will know that it doesn't affect anything. For example, I read so there was like a Trader Joe liquidity book contest. It's like an AMM. It's very similar to Uniswap V3. Uh, so in that there is a logarithm function. I believe it was a logarithm function. So I knew it was just used in an external view function, so it doesn't affect core protocol functionality. So it's just an external helper view function. So it was used there, but I go and read that function, and what I find is that uh, so the logarithm function takes input as uh, not in so it's as a 128-bit number with the decimal points. I don't remember the exact thing, but it's like it has decimal points, right? So, and in the logarithm function, it has a one check, like early return check, uh, that that assumes that it's a regular number. It doesn't have the decimal points. So for that one value, it will return incorrect. Uh, yeah, so I found that I submitted as medium, uh, and then the since it didn't affect any core protocol functionality, it was downgraded to low, right? So didn't have many QA reports. So there are QA reports in Code Arena. It wasn't very good, I guess. That this finding that was merged uh, was just, discarded. Like it's a valid finding, unique finding, that and the team fixed it, based seeing my finding. They fixed it, but it was downgraded low, and it was I didn't get paid anything, and it wasn't included in the Coderne report as well. So that's the most annoying thing that I had in Code Arena. I know many people had much more annoying things, but this was, this was supposed to be in the report. So something like, even if you don't pay me, but maybe include in the report. So I didn't like that. But yeah, that was, if I do it right now, I wouldn't maybe check that function for the contest, I guess, not for the private audit, because private audit, I want to find everything. But for the contest, probably it doesn't matter. I will just check the functions that can cause fund loss. Basic, like red spots in the function that's changing the state in a meaningful way.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Sometimes when you're starting out, you can end up missing the forest for the trees
Mm-hmm.
and spending your time into something that is not really going to be that impactful, even if I find a mistake in it.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to focus on more critical parts and spend your time there is definitely good advice. And it kind of sucks that you didn't really get a compensation or recognition for the bug you found. I think it's one of the problems that they're trying to solve with the analysis report. I think that's what it's called, where now you
Mm-hmm.
can give just kind of like architectural suggestions to the protocol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So if I have some free time, I will definitely do some contests. Start doing some contests again and
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what's the situation right now. Because I think the competition has lowered a little bit. Like, I haven't done any contests recently, but I think that's the case, and I have improved a lot since last time I joined the contest. So maybe that's something I can start again.
Yeah, it's always a matter of perspective, right? I think the
Mhm.
better you get, the less competition you have. And how do you think the future of Web3 security looks like?
Uh, I don't know how it can get better than this. I mean, it's bad right now. I'm not saying it's bad. It's good, and it can't get better, but it's bad, and I don't see how it will get better, because, like, people will want to build stuff. People who are not experienced in security are going to build stuff, and they will have uh, people that cheer them, that support them, that fund them. So uh, that will continue, and you cannot stop that. You shouldn't actually stop it. Like, you need that new people building, creating new stuff. Uh, so yeah, I think it's not looking better in the future. Maybe if we start to get very good automated tools, maybe that might be something. But even then, it's I don't think we are going to get anything open source. So some people are just going to profit off of that, and many people aren't going to pay for that. So yeah, I don't. That's that's kind of my view right now.
And do you think if some advanced tools get developed, they're going to be good enough to catch more of the complex bugs? And what sort of time frame are you talking about?
Uh, few years, I think, like, it requires that language models get better and people learn to write uh, like AI agents using the language models. So it's not just like feeding, copy pasting the code to ChatGPT and expecting it to find an answer, but it's more about creating a, a series of like thought processes using the language model. So language model would ask questions to itself and try to find its way. And the language, like the agent program could, run other static analysis detectors, or it can start writing fast tests and start running that. So those features could be added. Uh, yeah, I think that has potential, but I think there's still some time for that. And yeah, there will always be need for human inputs. I think like these tools will need to be get improved by humans. You will still want some human to check the findings, compare them, adapt to them, filter them. So there will always be that need. If you don't have that need, then you have solved AGI in a way. So that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we as humans always want to innovate, and so essentially, until AI is in town, there's
Mhm.
not going to be anything that's super safe, unfortunately.
Yeah, I want to add something to this. You shouldn't affect your choices because there may be some tool in the future that will be better than most auditors, better than you might ever will be. You shouldn't affect this. You shouldn't make this affect your choices, and just if you're learning security, just keep
I
going.
think be a very rewarding career, and the time frame still really high. It's not like you're going to start learning now and then you're going to be um, irrelevant tomorrow. I think in the long term, like very long term, like 10 plus years, it's something that might affect you, but it is definitely not enough to deter you from entering this field at
Mhm.
all.
Yes, and the most important thing is learning how to learn. And if you can teach yourself uh, smart contracts, and then smart contract security, EVM, etc., uh, you are at a really good state. And in the future, if you need, you can learn other stuff as well. Uh, yeah, you won't. I don't think that you will have any like opportunity loss because you are doing security work. And you'll always have opportunity cost, but it's not like it will be in vain. You will get plenty of value, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And could you elaborate a little bit on this skill of learning how to learn?
Yes. So I think it's a mindset uh, because many people you speak in real life. It's like, oh, I can never do this. I can never learn this. Uh, but I think you have to force yourself to be a bit academic as well. It's like when you see an article, okay, I will not know this, I cannot understand because I didn't go to university. You can still go line by line and read and try to understand it. And even if it's just the one article, you will learn plenty. Uh, of course, depends on what, but yeah. So uh, you can learn m- like the core sciences is actually really important, like maths. Like when you're in high school, you say, "Oh, where am I going to use this?" But now I'm in crypto. It's like, oh, it's everywhere. So learn your linear algebra. you can spend few hours a day and you know create your own curriculum and do that. So uh, yeah, so don't say that, oh, that's just for people who have studied, who have gone to university, who have PhDs. Don't say that it's just for those people, and uh, you can do it yourself. It just requires dedication, and you have to do it every day. Like you have to do it frequently at least. And you can choose which topics to learn and learn it. Like all the materials are online. Learn how to pirate books. Learn how to pirate scientific articles, and then you have all the world's knowledge at your hands.
Um, yeah, I think everything's learnable if you just go with an open mind.
Yeah, I think like there are some things that you need practical experience, uh, that you need to use your like for example, it's a skill with your hands that you have to learn it. It's not like you can just read it. There are many things that are not written and conveyed, that cannot be conveyed in speech, that you realize you learn by doing it with your hands. So those things, uh, you might need a coach or an instructor to help you with those. But for what we are doing, you can do everything. You can learn everything by yourself. And the programs you use are your instructors because they give you immediate feedback. You write something or the program doesn't compile, that's immediate feedback. Uh, like you solve an equation and you check the answer, it's not correct, and it's immediate feedback, and then you can try figure out what you did wrong, what you misunderstand maybe. So these things you can definitely do it. Yeah, if you're in this space, you should do it.
Yeah, that's a great message, I reckon. Is there is there anything particular you're interested in the crypto space at the moment?
In the crypto space right now, I want to see more like tokenization. That's free. It's not behind KYC, right? So like real world assets on chain, and you don't need to KYC. I guess everyone's listening to United States, so they might need to uh, loosen their grip a bit. But uh, because right now is like as I initially said in this talk, uh, there are either infrastructure stuff and like meme hype stuff, but I think like the real world tokenization can bring real value. That's the thing. So that would make a decentralized exchange uh, useful. I mean, it's still useful. Like NFTs are, even though we like to make fun of them, but NFTs are probably the best assets. Like they have real value, I think. Uh, yeah. So yeah, that's one thing. So real as like assets tokenization, and then the other one is of course zero knowledge. Uh, that that's I'm not very knowledgeable about it yet, but I think it will have lots of potentials. Uh, and yeah, basically that's it.
Yeah, those are really cool technologies. And is there any specific type of real world assets that you are referring to?
Uh, like for example, houses, and maybe you can buy and sell shares of houses or something like that. But I think for that we need to improve the user experience as well. You cannot just have it on chain and then expect it to work without any legal intervention. Uh, I mean, yeah, there's still like I said infrastructure work doesn't interest me, but it does actually interest me in this regards because we have to allow it like regular people to use it, uh, or even like institutions, governments. You know, like do you trust your government to manage private keys? So that's one thing.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a slow process to get there as this evolves and emerges into more traditional businesses. I think we're going to slowly start to to build a bridge where those things of making tokenized houses are going to be more easily accessible to anyone. But yeah, for now, it's a bit hard. Yeah. Well, man, it's been a pleasure having you here.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
excited to see the next bugs you find, the next Uniswaps bug reports with colorful bug reports and explanation. I think more
Yeah,
people should adopt your style.
yeah, it will. Hopefully, there will be more. I'm now aiming for 1 million. Let's go for it. Yeah.